The transmission came through like a whisper at the edge of the void, a crackling voice that barely cut through the hum of the massive warship. Captain Alexei Turner, perched at the helm of the Phoenix, leaned forward, his sharp eyes narrowing. His fingers hovered over the console, tracing the faint ripple in the data stream. The signal was encrypted with a military-grade algorithm. "Put it through," he commanded, his voice low, measured. His crew scrambled to obey, but the urgency was palpable. Something was off. The holographic screen flickered before displaying the image, a blurry, corrupted face of a general he hadn't seen in years. His posture was stiff, almost robotic, as if the weight of his words was too much to bear. "Captain," the general rasped, "we've lost the planet." The message was brief, but it carried the weight of everything that had gone wrong. "The alien coalition's reinforcements have landed. Earth has fallen. We're on the brink of collapse." For a heartbeat, the room was silent. The sound of the hum in the ship's engines grew deafening, then faded as Turner processed the words. Earth has fallen. This was no ordinary defeat. The Great Coalition, the unified front of nearly 1,000 alien species, had never been this close. Turner could feel the chill of their encroaching presence, a deep sense of finality settling into his bones. "General, is there a plan?" Turner's voice cut through the static, his fingers tightening around the edge of the console. He needed to hear hope, something, anything, that would lead them through this. The general hesitated. "There's nothing left. They've outflanked us. Every resistance force is broken. But there's one last option." The hologram flickered again, the screen sparking with static. Turner could barely make out the next words. "We can't stop them, but you can." Turner's brow furrowed. "I'm listening." The general leaned in closer, his features becoming more defined as the signal strengthened. His eyes locked onto Turner's. "The mission is simple, Captain. You're to infiltrate the enemy's stronghold and steal their core. The one piece of technology they can't replicate. Without it, their war effort will grind to a halt. We're relying on humanity's last hope. You're the one who can get it done. But if you fail, well, let's just say, we'll be wishing for extinction." The transmission cut abruptly, leaving Turner staring at the flickering remains of the general's face. The words echoed in his mind. Humanity's last hope. Turner straightened up, turning to his crew. "Prepare for launch," he ordered. His voice was cold, calculating. "We will not lose." As the crew scrambled to ready the ship, Turner remained at the helm, his thoughts racing. The weight of the mission was heavy, but it was the only chance left. Earth was lost, but maybe, just maybe, this one strike could buy humanity the time they needed to turn the tide. The aliens had underestimated them before. They wouldn't make the same mistake again. "Are we ready?" Turner's voice broke through the chaos of the warship's preparations. Sergeant Maya Tanaka, a hardened soldier who'd fought in more skirmishes than she cared to count, gave him a quick nod. "Ready as we'll ever be, Captain. But you know this is suicide, right?" Her voice was edged with both worry and a grim determination. "I know." Turner turned to face her, locking eyes. "But if we don't do this, there won't be an Earth to save." His jaw clenched. "I need you with me, Maya. We'll finish this together." Her gaze softened for a moment, but only for a moment. Tanaka was no stranger to death, but this mission felt different. Every decision now had the weight of extinction riding on it. "We do it, or we die trying," she said, her voice steady, though the anxiety was unmistakable in the tightness around her eyes. A moment of silence passed between them, but it was broken by the loud rumble of the Phoenix's engines starting. The countdown to launch had begun. The next few hours were a blur of combat maneuvers, with the Phoenix cutting through the vast expanse of space. They were headed straight for the heart of the alien war machine, a fortress unlike any humanity had ever encountered. The intel they had gathered pointed to one singular location, the Black Forge. It was the central hub of the aliens' war effort, and its core held the key to stopping them. Turner's fingers tightened around the armrest as they approached the station. His thoughts raced, each second feeling like a lifetime. There was no room for error. Failure meant the extinction of humanity, of everything they had fought for. Tanaka's voice broke through his thoughts, a familiar, reassuring presence. Captain, we're entering the atmosphere. Time to put everything we have into this. Get ready. Once we land, there won't be time for second chances. We move fast. We move hard. Turner's voice was sharp, filled with the raw edge of determination. The Phoenix lurched as the gravitational pull of the alien station took hold. The massive vessel groaned under the pressure, but Turner barely flinched. There was no time for fear. They landed with a thunderous impact, the Phoenix's landing gear slamming into the rocky surface of the Black Forge. Immediately, the air was thick with tension. The team sprang into action, their training kicking in. Turner's hand rested on his weapon, fingers itching to unleash chaos. As the hatch opened, the cold wind of the alien world hit them. The landscape stretched out in front of them, an alien city, a war zone built for destruction. Metal spires reached toward the sky, and the air hummed with energy. There was no turning back now. Keep your heads down and move fast, Turner barked, leading his team toward the heart of the fortress. Every step was a reminder of what they stood to lose. As they advanced through the barren landscape, the quiet was shattered by the echoing sound of alien soldiers marching in the distance. They know we're here, Maya muttered under her breath. We're not going to make it. Turner's lips curled into a grim smile. They underestimated us before. They won't make that mistake again. And with that, they plunged into the heart of enemy territory, a single ship against an entire war machine. But for the first time in this fight, humanity wasn't running. They were charging forward, ready to prove that they could be the one species to say asterisk. Is that it? Asterisk. And they would not stop until it was over. The dark silhouette of the Black Forge loomed overhead as Turner and his team moved deeper into enemy territory. The air crackled with tension, the hairs on the back of his neck rising as if the entire planet was aware of their presence. The fortress sprawled in front of them like a twisted monument to destruction, its jagged spires piercing the sky, an architecture designed to intimidate. Keep moving, Turner said, his voice steady but his eyes darting to the shadows around them. Every crevice, every corner seemed to pulse with the potential for danger. The Phoenix had dropped them off with precision, but now it was just a matter of making it to the core, an almost impossible task. Maya Tanaka led the way, her weapon at the ready, scanning every corner. Her years of experience had turned her into a machine, controlled, calculating, but underneath that was the same human vulnerability everyone else carried. She was fighting not just for survival, but for the future of her people. And that weight pressed on her with every step. We're approaching the entrance, Tanaka said, voice low. We've got less than 5 minutes before they detect us. Turner didn't break stride. We don't need 5 minutes. We need 1. His eyes hardened as he scanned the path ahead. The way was clear, but that wouldn't last long. The Black Forge had never been meant to be breached. It was the ultimate stronghold, a place where even the most determined resistance forces had faltered. The entrance loomed in front of them, a massive reinforced door, its surface covered in alien symbols. Turner felt the weight of the moment settle in his chest. Asterisk, this is it. No turning back. Asterisk. We breach on my mark, he ordered, and everyone stopped, crouching low in the shadows, preparing for the final assault. Each of them knew that the moment that door opened, the countdown to their doom had begun. There was no backup. There were no reinforcements. There was only them, humanity's last attempt to secure its future. Ready? Maya's voice broke through the silence, her voice steady, but the hint of concern was unmistakable. Turner nodded. Let's go. The explosive charge went off with a deafening roar, sending the heavy door flying back in a shower of sparks and alien debris. The team rushed through the gap, weapons raised, eyes searching every inch of the vast, dimly lit corridor. The sound of boots echoed in the cavernous space, and the silence that followed was chilling. Then, a voice, a familiar voice, rumbled from the shadows, cold and commanding. Humans! The voice was laced with contempt, an alien accent coding every word. "Did you truly believe you could defeat us?" The soldiers stiffened. Turner's heart skipped a beat. That voice was unmistakable. It was Krathos, the alien warlord who had been a constant threat to humanity's survival. The leader of the alien coalition. The one who had orchestrated the fall of Earth. "We didn't come to defeat you," Turner called out, his voice steady despite the tension coursing through him. "We came to show you how wrong you are about us." From the darkness, Krathos stepped into view, his massive, insect-like frame casting a long shadow. He was a being of terror, his armor glowing faintly with an unnatural light. His compound eyes gleamed as he looked down at Turner and his crew, his lips curling into what could only be described as a cruel smirk. "You, the so-called last hope of humanity?" Krathos sneered, his voice booming. "Pathetic. You've fought a losing war from the start. This is your final stand, your moment of defiance. How quaint." Turner didn't flinch, his grip tightening on his rifle. "You're right about one thing, Krathos. This is our final stand. But it's not just for us, it's for everything you and your kind have taken from us." The alien's eyes narrowed, his towering form moving closer. "You will never have the core. It is the heart of our empire. It is invulnerable. I'm not here to take it," Turner said, his eyes narrowing with deadly focus. "I'm here to destroy it." The air between them crackled with tension. The soldiers stood poised, weapons at the ready, but no one moved. Every word from Krathos stoked the fire of hatred inside Turner's chest, but his mission was clear: reach the core, destroy it, and stop the war. Krathos studied him for a moment, as though savoring the moment before he acted. "Then you are foolish beyond belief," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "You will not survive this." Turner's jaw tightened. "We don't need to survive. We just need to make sure you don't." Suddenly, the room around them came alive with motion. The shadows shifted, and more figures emerged, alien soldiers, their forms rippling in the dim light. It was a trap. They had walked right into it. "Now!" Turner shouted, signaling his team. In an instant, the air exploded with gunfire. The sound of bullets tearing through the air was deafening. Maya, ever the tactician, fired precisely, taking down 2 of the advancing soldiers in a single shot. Turner dove behind cover, popping up to fire as the alien forces charged toward them. It was chaos. The sounds of battle filled the room, the roar of weapons mixing with the alien screeches of war. The Phoenix team fought with everything they had, but they were vastly outnumbered. Each step they took forward was met with an overwhelming force, each alien soldier seemingly more ruthless than the last. Turner's eyes flicked to the glowing, pulsating wall ahead. He knew the core was behind it. He had to reach it, no matter the cost. He fired again, taking down another alien soldier. His heart pounded in his chest, his blood rushing in his ears. This was it. The turning point. If they couldn't break through, they were done. "Maya!" Turner shouted, motioning toward the control panel near the core. "Get that door open, now!" She nodded, darting forward under fire. Her movements were fluid, almost mechanical, as she slid into position and began hacking the alien tech. The countdown to their success, or failure, had begun. But as Maya worked, a shadow fell across her. "Get down!" Turner yelled. But it was too late. The alien's blade flashed in the dim light, striking Maya in the chest before she could react. She crumpled to the ground, a pained gasp escaping her lips. "Maya!" Turner screamed, rushing toward her. Blood spilled across the cold floor, but her eyes met his, filled with determination. She was still alive. "Finish it," she whispered, her voice strained but strong. "Don't let them win." And with that, Turner knew what he had to do. No matter the cost, no matter who had to fall, humanity's last hope would not die here. "Move out!" Turner roared, firing again, his resolve hardening into something unbreakable. The war was not over yet. The air inside the black forge grew thick with the metallic scent of blood and the acrid smoke of battle. The ground beneath Turner's boots was slick with alien blood, and his pulse pounded in his ears like the drumbeat of war. Maya lay motionless behind him, but her sacrifice had fueled the fire in his chest. Her final words echoed in his mind like a command. Finish it. He wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. He was fighting for every man, woman, and child who had ever been wronged by the alien forces. He was fighting for humanity's future. The thought of Maya, of everything she had given, burned like fuel in his veins. The door to the core chamber was just ahead, but the enemy was closing in, and time was running out. Focus on the mission, he muttered to himself, his eyes flicking back to the control panel, now sparking under enemy fire. Maya's last act of defiance had opened it, but now the countdown was ticking. Every moment that passed was a risk, both for the core and for their lives. If they couldn't destroy it, humanity's extinction was inevitable. Cover me! Turner shouted to his remaining soldiers. He glanced behind him, where two of his crew, Lieutenant Carter and Sergeant Hale, were still locked in a brutal firefight with alien soldiers. Their fire was relentless, but Turner could see them faltering, overwhelmed by numbers. A single slip, and they'd be dead. But Turner didn't have the luxury to save everyone. He had one mission, one target, the core. He charged forward, rolling past an alien soldier's gunfire as it sliced through the air above him. The sound of blaster fire and alien screeches filled his ears, a cacophony of death, but he pushed it out of his mind. His body moved on instinct, the training kicking in, the years of combat and strategy leading him toward the heart of the beast. The glowing core chamber door loomed large, its intricate alien symbols pulsating with a sinister energy. Turner's hand trembled slightly as he reached for the detonator. He wasn't just ending the battle. He was ending the war. The fate of Earth, of humanity, rested on this moment. Turner! Carter yelled from behind him, her voice strained with urgency. We're running out of time. We can't hold them off for much longer. I know, he shouted back, his voice a low growl. He punched in the final sequence on the detonator. 5 seconds. The countdown blared in his ears. 4. He could feel the weight of every lost comrade, every failure, pressing on him. The death of Maya, the fall of Earth, the destruction of everything they had built. It all came down to this. 3. The floor beneath him trembled, as if the station itself was alive, aware of its impending doom. Turner's eyes flicked to the control panel once more. He knew the core would not go down easily. But they had to succeed. There was no room for doubt. 2. He could hear Krathos's mocking voice echoing in his mind. You think you can defeat us, human? You are nothing. Turner gritted his teeth. He wasn't fighting for himself. He was fighting for every person who had ever believed in humanity. This was their moment, their reckoning. 1. The detonator's red light flashed green. The black forge shook violently. Turner was thrown off his feet, the explosion sending shockwaves through the entire station. The walls of the core chamber cracked and crumbled, the very structure of the facility groaning in protest. Turner's heart pounded in his chest as he scrambled to regain his bearings. The hum of alien technology faded, replaced by the sound of his breath, ragged and strained. Through the chaos, Turner's eyes locked on the once glowing core, now dimmed, collapsing in on itself. The alien war machine, the heart of their empire, was crumbling. He had done it. Humanity had done it. But the victory was short-lived. As the explosion's shockwave continued to ripple through the station, Turner heard the unmistakable sound of something, or someone, moving through the debris. Krathos. From the thick cloud of dust and smoke emerged the alien warlord, unscathed, his massive form standing tall as if untouched by the devastation. You! Krathos's voice was a snarl. You dare think you can destroy us? Turner's breath came in ragged gasps, his body covered in grime and blood, but his resolve was unbroken. He pulled himself to his feet, his weapon aimed squarely at the alien leader. You're already defeated. Turner spat, his voice filled with the weight of everything he had just lost and gained. You just don't know it yet. Krathos took a step forward, his massive limbs moving with unnatural speed. I am the end of humanity. You're nothing but a fleeting spark. I don't need to defeat you, Turner said, his voice steady now, a grim sense of finality in it. I just need to outlast you. The alien raised a hand, ready to strike. But Turner's finger tightened on the trigger, releasing a single shot that tore through the air with deadly precision. Krathos staggered back, his chest smoking from the blast, his cruel eyes widening in shock. You lost the war the moment you underestimated us, Turner said, his voice low but filled with power. That was your mistake. Not mine. As the alien warlord crumpled to the ground, the shaking of the station intensified. The Black Forge was collapsing, and the countdown to its destruction had begun. Turner turned and sprinted toward the exit, his heart pounding in his chest. His crew was waiting, ready to escape. Behind him, the station groaned, its death throes echoing in the distance. The mission had been a success. Humanity's last hope had not only survived but prevailed. As Turner and his team made their way toward the ship, the final blow struck. The Black Forge exploded in a deafening roar, a bright, fiery burst that swallowed everything in its path. The remnants of the alien empire, their war machine, were gone. And as the Phoenix broke through the atmosphere, heading toward the distant stars, Turner looked back at the wreckage, a silent promise forming in his chest. Humanity had won. For now. But the war was far from over.